All right, understanding the funnel editor inside Systeme.io. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a new funnel. Now right here, we have a few things. You have your funnel domain. If you have any domain specifically, you can go ahead and create and select the domain that you are going to use. You can select the name. You can choose your funnel goal. It's not really 100% mandatory, but if you want to build an audience, click here, sell there, custom there, and run an evergreen webinar right there. The only thing that's going to do is going to populate the steps necessary to build an audience, to sell, and all that stuff. For currency, you have any other currency that you might want to use. I'm going to use euro and then save. Okay, so now we have used or created a new funnel. On the right side, we have view, duplicate, share, and share settings, and deactivate. Right now, we are not really going to care too much about that, as we're going to just be talking about the editor. So let's go ahead and click test. Now on the left side, we're going to see squeeze page, thank you, download page, and inactive page. But you want to have in mind that these pages that you can see right here that have like this signal, it's really like something that they are not set up. So you still need to use and build them. Okay, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. For a squeeze page, you can use any of these templates, and you just go ahead and select one of them. It's not really necessary for you to build from these templates, but I'm just going to go ahead and select this one. Now here we have all these automation rules, A/B tests, and all that stuff. We are not really going to worry too much about that in this video, but on the right side we have edit page. That's exactly what I'm going to do to start editing the funnel or using the funnel editor. Now, as we can see right here, we have all the elements that this page has. And the way that this works is very, very simple. We have three main things that are going to allow you to build a page. We have sections, and we can find it on the column layout right here. You have sections. Then we have rows. And inside the rows, you can have rows with several columns. It can be 2 columns, 3, or 4 columns. Right? So let's try to build one page from scratch, and by removing all these other things that we don't really need right now. So we're just going to go ahead and delete everything real quick. And once it's done, then I'm going to go ahead and build a page from scratch so you can see and understand how the editor works. If you're already familiar with this, you can skip this video. This is for all the beginners out there. So now here we go ahead, we need a section. Without sections, we don't have any Canva. So let's go ahead and drag a section here. As you can see, we have this section highlighted in green. If we click here on settings or anywhere in the section, we're going to open a new section, settings or property settings. On the left side, we have margin, we have color, size and option, padding, and all these different ones. You don't really have to worry too much about that, as these are just going to allow you to add or remove more detail to the page. Okay. The second thing we want in order for us to add things, images, elements, text to the page is we need to select the type of rows that we want. So now here we can have a single row, which we have right here, and then you can add any element inside that row by dragging and dropping. We can have 2 columns, which we have, in this case here, and then there we have 2 columns. We can have 3 and 4 columns, the exact same way. He's going to add another column on the right. All right. So now that we understand that we need sections to have a Canva, we need rows to have elements placed. Now we need to try to understand exactly how we are going to be positioning all of that stuff. So the very first thing that I do in the sections in any page is the size and position. I actually don't use full page. I use wide, as wide is going to help us get the attention of the user right here in this part of the funnel. We don't want the text to be too stretched out. Everything between these two 14 by 40 pixels. Okay. Now the next thing is we want to add any element that you have predefined here. So you can find text elements right here. You can find media elements on the second tab. You can find forms, buttons, and reCAPTCHA. And you can find social and other right here that are going to allow you to customize your funnel the way that you are looking for. Okay. One thing to have in mind is you can add almost an infinite amount of rows inside each row. So what this means is, let's say that you have a 2 column. Let's remove that one. Okay. Let's say you have 2 column. Now here you have a text and you have a paragraph there, and then you have a button right there. Now, if you want to add something that has like an image on the left and the text on the right, you can actually go ahead and add 2 columns right below the button. and you can do that exactly, right? So you can add an image there, and then you can add a text there. Okay, so you can add columns inside columns, and you can do this and repeat this over and over and over, basically. So 3, there you go. So what this is going to allow you to do, which other editors don't have this possibility, is you can really go into detail. Now, have in mind that when you go to the mobile version, it is going to look something like this. So you kind of need to have that in mind, okay? But you have this possibility or an option to add more rows so that you have more specific detail into your page, okay? So far, what we talked about is, in order for you to build, you need a section. Then you need to understand how you're going to place your elements so you can understand what kind of rows you're going to use. Is 1 row, 2 rows, 3 or 4? Then we understand we can add all the elements inside those rows. And on top of that, we can then add rows inside columns so that you can divide those elements into more detailed versions. All right. So this is basically the way that you're going to understand the editor. We are going to go more in depth as we go into settings in other places. But for this specific video, we just want to understand how these pages are built so that you can go ahead and start practicing.